What is up, everybody? This is Ryan with the Scale Up Show. Today, we are going to cover the silent AI revolution, why your best employees are hiding their AI innovation. Okay, so I'm seeing a disturbing trend after effectively working with hundreds on AI implementation. And one particular use case where a top performer automated 40% of their job and their employer had no idea, or their leadership had no idea. So we're going to expose that underground AI movement that's happening right now and how to overcome it and eliminate it in your organization. Okay. So where this came about is I effectively am consistently seeing that AI has no ROI myth, right? And so I wanted to really debunk that because I've seen the exact opposite. I've seen after literally spending 300, or I should say not 300, 3 hours on understanding how to use really good use cases, prompting examples, as well as actual hands-on keyboard using a tool like ChatGPT. One individual could save 156 hours a year just from 3 hours. Okay. Now multiply that times the entire go-to-market team, and it's pretty impactful. So what I'm going to talk to you about is an example where personnel and marketing actually had created 6 GPTs, and the leadership in their organization had no idea that this was going on. And it was really interesting because I get why the person did it. And there's some really good reasons. One is the success punishment pattern, right? Where there's the fear of extra workload, where they're afraid that they're going to stifle their advancement because they're sharing with other people their secret sauce, if you will. And the same person wanted to own their own IP. So that person effectively had their own private ChatGPT account and was doing all this work on that account, not really sharing it with anyone at the leadership level. And so one of the things that you could do is really create a strategy to support those people and actually let them thrive in your organization instead of automating their work in private. And this is going to become more and more and more critical because AI agents are being released in the next, few months. They're starting to be released already, and they're being talked about all the way from the platform providers down to more functional or vertical AI agents, and then all the way to actually cross-functional, right? Almost like model agnostic AI agents. And so I should probably do a whole episode on that alone, but staying on task here, I want to talk about the shadow AI economy. Okay. So let me define it first of all for you. So what this is this is an underground movement where 73% of employees are using personal AI accounts because their organization either just rolled it out without any exposure or training, or basically told them that they could not use it as well, right? So it's happening one way or another. Then there's also the risk versus the innovation tension, right? And so what I saw though is once this got brought into the public purview, that person was recognized for what they were doing, basically enabled a team to shrink down the timeline of a project from 3 months to a couple days. And so that was super exciting for me to see. And here's some actual insights that you could take away from this. So here's basically 4 key steps as a leader, what you could do to avoid having AI innovation happening in private. Number 1, you could do anonymous AI survey. You could send an anonymous survey out to your team, your organization, and ask what are the ideal use cases, or what are the best use cases? How much work has been automated? What are top ways that the team has leveraged that to expand their intelligence? So that's step 1. Number 2 is an innovation amnesty program. Okay. So this is maybe a funny analogy, but it's kind of so I live out in the Chicagoland area. One of the things I noticed in Chicago O'Hare Airport, which is one of the largest in the country, I think has the most traffic in the country, up there probably with Atlanta and maybe one of the New York airports, is there's basically a marijuana amnesty box where you go through security and you have it. You could just drop it in there and there's basically no consequences. So if someone's been leveraging this for a year, there's no consequences if they burn it out and share it with the team. Okay, so that's number 2, right? Number 3 is having a reward system for those that share AI wins. Okay. And why that's really important is because even just recognizing them and promoting them to their peers, what I've seen with the folks that I've worked with has created a flourishment of AI innovation. What this does is this gives people ideas. It encourages them to share more and do more. But at the same time, it also makes them not want to get left behind, right? There's a little bit of a competitive nature to it. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is actually promote people financially or within their jobs if they want, I mean, not if they want, but I mean, basically to promote, once again, with put your money where your mouth is with actual rewards on what's going to happen. Okay. I've surveyed organizations on this. And what I'm finding is when I ask, like, hey, do you want to be one of the folks or one of the team members that leads your organization in AI and leads the forefront of this, I'm seeing as much as a 70-80% hit rate of folks that are raising their hand, right? Now, when you actually go about who does the work and actually uses the implementation, tries to do that, maybe that's cut in half. But still, even if you have a 40-50% hit rate of employees that really want to operationalize it, I think that's pretty astounding. Okay, now you just got to give them to do that. And that kind of leads me to my next one is like, okay, what do you need to do this? I'm going to talk about this more on the next episode. One of the key areas you got to do is give them space, right? So you got to give them space. And the thing that I equate to this is an example of when Google used to give their team, I think it was like 20% of their time just to explore and try new innovation or use cases or ideas on how to solve people's problems. It was almost like a free square within their week. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to go that much, but even a few hours and having them share the results is really, really impactful. So basically, just to kind of wrap this up, there's a real simple formula that I've seen companies go from like 0 AI usage with a very, very low competency rate to basically going to daily AI usage, which is like the pinnacle, the nirvana. If your team's using it every single day, you're going to see massive light year head jumps with this versus your competitors. And this is really going to create the foundation for 2025 when AI agents are used, because you will have the prompting foundation, the usage foundation, and then when things go autonomous, you'll be 10 levels ahead of everyone. So really appreciate you staying with me today. I haven't done one of these solos in a while. As you know, I love doing these and sharing these with you. One of the other things that we're going to talk about next week is why a transformation is falling from the top down. Okay. So you're not going to want to miss this episode. This is part 2 of the Silent AI series. So appreciate you being with me today, and we will see you all on the next episode.